Welcome to Tech Talk, sponsored by KeyCodeMedia. What I have here is I've got an iPhone 6, and we've got this incredibly beautiful demo showing to shoot. So now you can see sort of the setup. This is our tripod and the little clip that holds the iPhone onto the tripod. But let's go to the iPhone itself. First thing that you do is you click on the settings menu and you scroll down until you come to Photos and Camera. And we scroll down and notice that by default it's recording video at 1080 by 30 frames a second. In all cases, the iPhone records progressive video, which is exactly what you want. There are 4 different flavors that we can record: 720p 30, 1080p 30, 1080p 60, and 4K at 30 frames a second. The default setting is 1080p 30. We'll just turn on 4K and notice the checkbox. And now we'll go back here and switch back out and go to the camera. By default, the camera is in photo mode. Let's just rotate the phone here and get a horizontal picture and switch from photo mode to video mode by touching the video button. And we'll frame this up a little bit better, right about there. And notice in the lower left corner, is a box with 4K. This is the reminder that you're not shooting 1080 video, you're shooting 4K video. The rest of the operation of shooting video on the cell phone is the same as it's always been. It's just now we're recording at a higher resolution. So let's go back to the phone, push the record button, and let's record, say, 20 seconds of our twirling thingy. And we'll stop. I find that absolutely hypnotic. It's just the most amazing thing. I've found myself losing weeks staring at it. Okay, so now we've recorded the video, and we could record multiple shots. We could record, much more interesting pictures than perhaps the twirling thingy, but for what we're doing today, that'll be fine. Now, the next step is we got to move the video from the iPhone over to Final Cut. Now, to do this, I've got this brand new, totally empty high point RAID, and I created a single library on it called 4K Video. You can call libraries whatever you want. You can store them wherever you want, but 4K video is really data intensive. So you want to make sure that you store it on a high-speed hard drive, ideally a RAID. We'll talk more about that in just a minute. I've also created a separate folder called 4K Media. Depending upon how we set our import settings, we're going to be able to put the media inside the library, or we can store it to an external library. Let's start Final Cut by double-clicking 4K Video, hide the dock, and now we're inside Final Cut. I have not yet imported any media into the library. I'm going to select the library, which in the inspector automatically displays the library properties. If I plan on storing media inside the library, you don't have to change anything. But I want to store the media not in the library, which is the default setting. I want to store the media in a separate folder. So I click Choose, navigate to the RAID, highlight the folder that I want to store the media in, and click Choose. Now all of my media is going to be stored externally. Let's talk about this for just a second. If what you're doing is shooting media that's going to be edited once and never used again, store it inside the library. If you plan on moving the library from one computer to another, store your media inside the library. If, on the other hand, you're going to be sharing media between editors or sharing media between multiple libraries, you're much better off not storing it inside the library, but storing it externally. For most of the work that I do here in my training, storing it in the library makes sense, but sometimes I want to share it. You can determine whether the media is going to be stored internally or externally inside the library preference settings, which showed up with the 10.2 upgrade, by going to Library Properties in the inspector, changing the storage locations. I'm going to store all of my media externally just to make it easier to access, and click OK. I'm going to select my media event and go up to File, Import Media. Because the iPhone is already connected to my computer, it shows up in the cameras department here. And notice that I have a series of JPEGs, and I've got a media file. And there, playing off my camera, is a 4K image. It hasn't been imported yet. I'm playing directly from the camera, which just blows me away. And we can see that it runs about 21 seconds. Because it's on the camera, Final Cut does not allow me to keep it on the camera and import it. It forces me to copy the media across because I can't edit media off an iPhone. One, I'd have to always have the iPhone connected, and two, for editing purposes, the connection is too slow. So copy to 4K media is always the case. If I had not changed the preference setting, it would move the media into the library itself. That's the default. But I changed the library preference setting, and it's storing it to an external folder. So I'm going to click Import, and there our file is. It hasn't even been copied yet. It's at 40% copied, but I can still play it even though it hasn't yet been copied to the hard disk. This is a